Yo, what's going on, guys? KG Presents back out with another video, and today I'm here with some more must-add fantasy baseball players off your waiver wire for week 4 of fantasy baseball. I can't believe we're already on week 4 of the baseball season. It feels like we literally just started the other day, but we're already here on week number 4. So without any further ado, let's get into today's video. I'm going to be giving you 5 players off your waiver wire that I think you should add onto your team to potentially win this week, and of course, bring you one step closer towards winning your fantasy baseball championship this season. The first player I think you should add off the waiver wire is Lars Nootbar. Now, he just came back the other day. He had a rehab assignment with the Cardinals, and he only has 9 at-bats so far in the season here. However, he's going to be pretty good this year. So last year, Nootbar finished the 23 campaign with 14 long balls, 11 steals, and a 784 OPS in 117 games. Now that he's healthy, the 26-year-old should see nearly daily playing time for the rest of the season, and that makes sense, of course, because Lars Nootbar is a very solid player, outfielder for the St. Louis Cardinals. Only in his 3 games played so far, the season sitting 286 with a home run and 3 runs batted in. Not too shabby, though, in those couple games played, though, and you expect those numbers to obviously be very good over the course of this entire season, and those numbers last year were pretty solid in 117 games, and honestly, I can really see him improving his numbers this year. There's going to be no doubt he's going to be playing all the time, so obviously, if you're looking for some outfield help, definitely go out and add Lars Nootbar. I know obviously there's plenty of outfielders that you could potentially add onto your roster here, but I'm making my case for Lars Nootbar here. I think he can be pretty solid this year. Obviously, he doesn't really have a crazy roster rate at this point, obviously, because he's been injured, so people don't really roster him or anything. But if you want to add some roster help in your outfield, be sure to add Lars Nootbar onto your roster. I think he can improve upon those numbers, maybe even give you 270, 20 home runs this year. Hoping for the best. Add him if you want to on your team. Next up, we have Michael Busch from the Chicago Cubs. I'm sorry for the Dodgers footage. First off here, fortunately, I couldn't get some Cubs footage in here, but enjoy the Dodgers footage of him hitting a home run right there. Either way, Michael Busch has been absolutely incredible so far to start the 2024 campaign. Number 29 for the Cubs, their third baseman here. So far, hitting 311 on the season with 7 runs scored, 4 home runs, and 9 runs batted in. Actually, his 4 home runs were actually all in the last 4 games. 4 straight games with a home run is pretty incredible. Shout out Michael Busch for that right there. He provided a big insurance run in the 7th inning with his solo shot to right field in Saturday's 4-1 win against Seattle. The first baseman and third baseman has homered in 4 straight games after going deep only once in his initial 11 games of the campaign. But he's been a standout really so far in his first season with Chicago, complementing his 4 long balls with 9 RBIs, 7 runs, and 311, 385, and 644 slash line through his 52 plate appearances so far this season. Now, obviously, you don't really know what's going to happen with Michael Busch. He used to be a big top prospect and everything, but hopefully he continues to have this success here for the Chicago Cubs, and now is a great time to add him here before he gets even more prominent here, because especially if he keeps this hot streak up. Now, obviously, he's not going to be hitting a home run literally every single game for a season by any means, but if he's able to keep this hot streak up, continue hitting 311 on the season, providing some very good power for the Chicago Cubs, people are going to snag him off your waiver wire, and you want to be the one to snag him before anyone else does. So that's why today I'm letting you guys know about Michael Busch. I talked about him last week. Be sure to add him onto your team. I think he's going to be a great addition onto your roster for the rest of the season, actually, so add him. Next up, we have Marsh from the Philadelphia Phillies. He's been in the lineup for the Phillies almost every game so far this season, even including against left-handed pitching. Marsh is going to play that often in a really good Philadelphia Phillies lineup, then obviously we should be interested as fantasy baseball managers. He has just enough power and speed to help you a little bit everywhere, and he's here showcasing a new approach this season, swinging far more and selling out for power. While that has led to a high strikeout rate, he also isn't swinging and missing as often, so there's a chance that the strikeout rate corrects. Now, Marsh, I always think, has been a very solid player. Obviously, he's been a much more improved player since being traded to the Philadelphia Phillies prior to when he was with the Los Angeles Angels. So far this season, Marsh is hitting 318 on the year with 7 runs scored, 4 home runs, 9 runs batted in. He's also stole 1 base. Obviously, those are very good numbers to start your 2024 campaign right there. And the long ball has obviously been really big for Marsh. 4 home runs right in only 12, 13 games this year. That's pretty impressive. Third of the way going through with a home run there, pretty good. It doesn't matter where he is in the lineup, because in reality it doesn't matter, especially for fantasy baseball. It doesn't matter where you are in the lineup at all. 26-year-old has managed to not strike out after doing so 7 times over his first 10 at-bats this season, which is something pretty impressive though. The strikeout rate is going down. That means the ball is going to be put into play more often. Now, is that going to lead to hits every single time? No, absolutely not. However, it's going to be leading to more hits. Now, Marsh has always been a solid contact hitter, and he's definitely going to be doing that more this season in that Philadelphia Phillies lineup. But if he can provide some more power, onto his bat this season, I think he's going to be a great addition onto your fantasy baseball roster here. That's why I'm mentioning Brandon Marsh today. I think he can be a pretty good addition onto your roster. Now, if you want to choose between Lars Nootbar and Brandon Marsh, because they're both outfielders, I'll go for it. I don't think there's really a bad option with either of them. If you want to choose Lars Nootbar for his potential average on his thing, go for it. But Brandon Marsh is going to be pretty high in average as well, so it doesn't really matter who you choose. If you want to choose Nootbar, go ahead and choose Lars Nootbar. If you want to add Brandon Marsh onto your team, you can go ahead and add Brandon Marsh onto your team. And personally, I think I would probably add Marsh, but the thing is, though, it depends on what you're looking for and all that. So I'll leave that up to you guys. Hopefully, those two players are going to be great additions onto your team. That's why I'm mentioning Brandon Marsh today. Hopefully, he's going to help out your fantasy baseball roster. Next up, we have Baty from the New York Mets. Now, I know he struggled and everything last year, and I totally get the appeal of not having him onto your roster. But the thing is that Baty is only 24 years old, and so far to start the 2024 campaign, he's in .302 on the year. He's scored 6 runs. He has a home run and 9 runs batted, and that's pretty good if you ask me so far to start out your 2024 campaign. Baty is also only 24 years old, so you can't be giving up on Baty already. You know what I mean? Like, it's too early in his career to give up on Baty. 24-year-old third baseman has started to get a read on big league pitching so far this season. He's hit safely in 7 straight games in 11 of 13 to begin the season. He has a really good slash line there. Just a couple days ago, but it was at 327, 365, and 408. Obviously, that went down after the previous game, but the thing is, though, his slash line is pretty good right there. You can't complain about that at all. The power he flashed in the minors isn't showing up consistently yet here in the big leagues, but it's likely only a matter of time until he does so. He slugged 10 homers in only 26 games last year at AAA. Now, is he going to be hitting 45 home runs this year? Oh, no, absolutely not. But I mean, I really do think Baty could potentially hit 20, 25 home runs here in the big leagues consistently. I think it's not really out of the question here. So that's why I'm recommending Baty to you. Obviously, the average is there. So maybe this year, the 2024 season there, he's going to be a bright spot in that Mets lineup there. You don't really know what's going to happen with the Mets and everything, but hopefully Baty is able to have a good year as the Mets third baseman, hopefully break out this season. And he's going to be a very fantasy relevant if he's able to break out. Now, obviously, I think next year is going to be even more of a bigger year for Baty, but I think this season he's got pretty good chance to be fantasy relevant and put some great numbers for the New York Mets. So that's what I'm recommending you today. If you're looking for some third base help, be sure to add Baty onto your fantasy baseball roster. I hope that addition is going to help your team. Last but not least, we have Mackenzie Gore from the Washington Nationals. So far this season, in 3 starts, he's 2-0, 23 strikeouts, and a 2.81 ERA, along with a 1.9 whip. He collected a win Saturday in Oakland, tossing 5 shutout innings on 4 hits and 1 walk while striking out 11 batters. The feeble Athletics lineup had no chance against Gore in this one. All 4 hits they tallied were singles, and they never advanced past second base where the left-hander was in the game. Gore's 11 strikeouts tied a career high, and he pitched an impressive 20 swing strikes over 90 pitches with that 2.81 ERA and 23-5 strikeout to walk ratio over 16 innings pitched. We could be looking at a big breakout season for the 25-year-old southpaw. So that's going to be the conclusion of today's video. I do think Gore is going to be a great addition onto your roster. Hopefully, all these 5 players are going to help your fantasy baseball team this season. So I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Please sure to like, subscribe for future content, and I hope you all have a great day as well.